GenTube.App is one of the AI image generators out on the web, and they boast that it's absolutely free. There are a few caveats to it. We're going to take a look at GenTube. We're going to write a few prompts and see some of the really cool stuff that it does. And then, of course, I'll give you my final thoughts with pros and cons. And that's all next on Geekazine. What's up, my geeks? Jeffrey Powers from Geekazine. Think magazine, put in a geek. GenTube.App is actually sponsoring this video, but they have no say, and my opinions are of my own. You can find out all my information over at geekazine.com/review. If you'd like your product to be reviewed, all you have to do is contact me. We'll get it into the office and take a look at it. I'd like to also thank all my Patreons for supporting the channel. If you'd like to be a part of Patreon to help support keep the lights on, go over to patreon.com/geekazine. So GenTube is really interesting AI image modeler because they're doing it in real time. And that's what's really wild about this whole thing. It's absolutely free. There are no costs involved in this, but there are some caveats. So let's take a look at basically the cliff notes of what you'd expect with the terms of service. Cliff notes. By using GenTube, you must be at least 13 years or older. Simple as that. You keep the rights to anything you upload. So if I uploaded a picture of myself, that will not be put into the AI model. However, anything that I create from that image or any images that I create from prompts will be used to go back into the model to train the AI. Some commercial and monetization uses are acceptable by GenTube, but you'll have to check with them to see what you can and can't do. Otherwise, if you follow the rules, no illegal, no hateful, no deceptive content, you're good to go. Otherwise, your account can be suspended. You can delete your account at any time and they will follow DMCA copyright. If you have any questions, you can contact them. They've got contacts on the page. Plus, they have a Discord server that you can go and ask questions at any time. All right, let's talk for a quick minute about where your data is going. Like I said, GenTube.App has the ability to train their models, and inside of their terms of service, they do say that they will share that information with others, but not your specific information. But there is a question of where the data goes from there. In doing some searches, I found there is no physical building that GenTube.App is at. However, I believe that they're based in the San Francisco, California area, although I cannot confirm this. That way, if you're asking, do they share this information with like Chinese government? I don't think that that's going to be the case. I think whatever you create is going to be fine. You might be using these as promotion or in somebody else's work. And of course, that's part of this whole thing. Free is free. One more thing, I might accidentally say GenTube.ai. I mean GenTube.App. There is a GenTube.ai, which is not related to GenTube.App. So keep that in mind when you are connecting to this service. With that, let's take a look at the website and see what you can do, and some really cool stuff here. Now, I will tell you really quick that there is a level of nudity on GenTube. Topless, basically. So you might run across some images of topless women. If we do here, I'll definitely blur that out for this video. And there are some words that will make the prompts stop creating. And I'm going to show you that as we go. So let's go ahead and go over here. So this is the main page that you go to when you are looking at, when you sign up and you get into GenTube.App. Simple, just like almost a lot of other AI image generation websites. So they give you an idea, and these are things that people created. They have like mice here. There's the guy, kind of looks like Liam Hemsworth, but it is not. In fact, if you type in Liam Hemsworth or Scarlett Johansson or anything like that, you might get something very, very similar, but not the actor's face at all. So if we scroll down, you'll see some other images, and this is the most I can scroll down, because then they show the man and of course the woman. She is also topless. They asked for tattoos on that, so they designed that. What we're going to do is we're going to show you how this all works, how you can create your own stuff. Now you can simply go over here and say, I want to take this image and start creating from here. So basically it's telling you in the prompt, which is right there, In the heart of a city of neon, where vibrant lights illuminate the bustling streets, a unique juxtaposition of landscapes unfolds, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of text here, as you can see. So basically, that's what it creates. Now, keep in mind, as you start building your script, and if you've ever done any script building when it comes to AI, you know that AI has short-term memory, which means that you could say, have a person holding a can of soda or pop or whatever your region calls it.
Soda, banana.
Then start building upon that and say, have the man wear a hat, have a coat on. And then all of a sudden an image will show up and that soda pop will be gone. You'll have some mistakes, like for instance, 6 fingers or 4 arms or anything like that. So you just have to watch the model, and you can of course create styles, and you can say have it realistic, have it in cartoon form, in anime form, in an old time photo or anything like that to really create the image that you're looking for. So from here, basically we can create from there, or we're going to start from scratch. So brand new, there's nothing here. This is the page that you see. Inside this page, what we have is our area where we're going to start creating stuff. This is the image area that's going to show. And then we're going to have ways to kind of change that. We have different ideas on here for subject, place, emoji, style, search. We'll start with emoji. Let's do this. Let's see what happens. Simple heart emoji. We'll put up our first image, which is interesting. It's I don't know what I'd use that for. On the bottom here, notice that that's the image right here. So let's put another emoji here. I'm not sure what the emoji that is, but we'll put that there. And notice how it's doing it real time. Once we start putting stuff in, it's going to change it. So now we have waves. So I'm not exactly sure how these two connect, but as you can see, if you don't like this, you can go right back to where you were and change it from here. So let's go back here. Let's change this. Let's do this one right here. So as you can see, we have memory of the images, and you can always go back to those images. Now we have, Easter Island. And then there's some sort of, I don't know, swan goose thing right there on a field of flowers. So you have a little bit of fun, and you can create some really interesting things. Simple as that. So, but let's go ahead and bring this back to 0, and we are going to hit type to create. And now we're going to start creating our own thing. Before we get started, I want to show you this area right here. So check this out. We have 3 options. One is to create something. It just puts out text for you. We have this basically closes the side panel and brings it back. And then of course the settings. Now the settings, we can choose on a draft mode. We can bring that back. We've got options for aspect ratio. So if you want a 3:4, which is the standard, or if you want 16:9 or 9:16 vertical versus HD content, you can switch that up that way. So you'll have to change it back to whatever format that you want the image to be in. Let's, for instance, say I want a crystal apple. Just type in a crystal apple. There we go. Simple crystal apple. It's got some flowers on it. Don't really care for it. Here's a little trick that I find is once you have that and you're really not happy with that version of it, just add punctuation at the end and it will create a new version. And of course, like I said, you'll have the old version so you can go back if you want to, but we're going to start with this one, crystal apple. Now in this crystal apple, we're going to go back on a neutral background. And then once you continue to type and stop typing, it's going to, in real time, try and create this item for you. So now this is a crystal apple on a neutral background. Let's say pastel, just so we can see this a little bit better. There we go. Now that looks good. I want to put in some lighting. So let's do a light flare from the right. There we go. The crystal apple kind of changed, kind of looks like a real apple now, but we just take out that punctuation and that will kind of give us a different idea. There we go. Now it looks like a real apple. And this is some of the things that you'll have to deal with as you are going forward. Let's say no stem. There we go. It still created the stem, but now we have a crystal apple. Unfortunately, we cannot change this image. It will create a new image. That's one of the biggest problems with AI, is it forgets way too quick. I call it short AI memory. There are some ways to take this image and actually mold it a little bit better to what you're looking for, and that's where we're going with this next. We can heart it so it'll show up in the list, and I believe other people will start to see this apple if you have that into your list. We can download it, we can share it, we can touch it up. And that's where we're going. And then, of course, the last one was refresh. So if you want to try a different one, just hit the refresh button and it will it'll create a new image. So now we have this image that we can bring right here. Inside of here, we have a style, we have lighting, we have colors, and we have mood. So we're going to start with the style. It says click me here. So we're going to hit that. And now it's created a new version of that in a different style. In a different style. Don't like that. In a different style. But we can go back to the original one. We can change the lighting a little bit. So this is a fluorescent lighting. So it's generating it from this image. There we go. Then we have more of a neon lighting. And then we have, this looks more like a noir type lighting. And much more. We can change the colors. So let's go back to the original. We can go to colors. This is a romantic color look. And as you can see, like I said, it doesn't really remember this, but it's trying to go as close as possible to what we saw. We've got, I'm not sure what this is. It's not really telling me. It says at the beginning, but then it doesn't tell us what the next ones are. So you can just go through this and flip through and see if there's an apple that you really enjoy. Let's go back to the beginning. There we are. We can change our mood. So we click on this and we've got the ancient mood. We've got, I'm not sure what this is, but as you can see, different moods. Let's do this one. I believe if we hit X, it's going to close that all out. No. Bottom line is don't hit the X unless you want to start over. In my profile, it'll create and show you some of the images that you just created. So there's a lot of the apples that I've created. One interesting thing about this was when they ask you to sign up, they ask for your image, and you can change that at any time. But the image is, AI created. You cannot upload your own image. This is the best AI version of me. So, all right, let's go back and let's start back here. We can choose play. And we can say fiery autumn hair. I'm not sure how an apple's going to have fiery autumn hair, but that's okay. Oh, that's interesting. And then, of course, we can change anything. We can say with an umbrella. And the magic edit is in process. And now we have a crystal apple, a woman with fiery red hair, and an umbrella, and a neutral background. I don't know when you would use that or anything like that, but as you can see, you've got some options here. And notice the ellipsis up here. We can go back at any time to the original apple and say up in the air with balloons. Magic edit's happening. There we go. So now we have the crystal apple and being lifted by a bunch of balloons. From here, we can continue to change. We can work with some other ideas here. Once we're ready, we can favorite or we can share it out to the socials as we go. We got some jumbled text as well. Here's a great example right here. I said, basically my prompt was, I gave him a whole bunch of Avengers and Homer Simpson because I wanted to see, because Disney is recently had filing with Midjourney on use of Disney copyright characters in creating their content. And with this probably falls under the I cannot use this for commercial use type thing. So we'll have all the Avengers. We have Homer Simpson. There's Thanos. It says Endgame up there, and then Endgame down there. So that does a pretty accurate version of text, but there is a couple others. As you can see, it doesn't say Avengers, but it has the Avengers logo. There's Avenoist, which I don't believe is any language. Situm Shrig. So as you can see, it's not creating mangled characters. Let's go back in here because we do have a few more of these images that I created. There's another one where it has some weird text in the background, but you know, we have Hulk as Captain America, Hulk as Fabio, I guess, Iron Man in the front, and he's got 6 fingers right there, and he's holding the Captain America shield. So accuracy is, you know, not as great, but you could definitely tweak it from here. So as you can see, you can create a few different things from there, whether it's something unique or something that you want to just have some fun with. That's what I really like about GenTube, is not only is it working in real time, you're getting images almost instantaneous, depending on your internet connection and how many people are on the network, but it's also keeping track of what you've done. One more thing I want to show you, that's those keyword stoppers here. So let's say we have this. We have 2 models posing in a room. Simple as that. Let's say we want to be topless. So let's just use the word naked. What it's going to do is it's going to think, but it's going to do absolutely nothing. Now, if I put anything after that with a horn in her hand, it's going to think, but as you can see, it's doing nothing, even though that one model does have 3 legs. The whole point is a keyword stopper. So whatever you do from there, it's not going to do anything. So if you start to see nothing happening from here, you put in a keyword that's not accepted. So we basically have to go back and say something else. You can make it so they're topless, but you have to use the right creative words. We'll go with a horn in her hand, and there we go. It's actually a Viking horn, not a horn, but you get the idea. So we can move on. If you start to see that nothing's happening after you put a specific keyword in, you might want to change that keyword so you can get the results that you're looking for. I'm interested to see what their back end is like, because when it comes to image generation, that takes a lot of process, and every character that's added to that becomes more process for the computer. So by doing this in real time, they're showing in 5 to 10 years, this is becoming something that's just going to be very instant. You might even go to a website where all of a sudden all the images just show up, and all of them are AI images created right then, right there. As we get faster computers, as we get better graphics, you'll find that this is going to become more of a reality of instantaneous AI, which will make it easier for people to take these images and put them out on the web and use them for what they need to use them for. I'll probably be using some of these images for some of the YouTube channels that I do. All right, easy to use. It shows you it's work basically, and you can always go back and work from wherever you went back to. So if something went completely left field and you kept trying to fix it, but it didn't work, you just went back, that you could definitely do that. As long as you leave that window open, don't hit the X like I did. A lot of different ways to fine tune it, even though it's not going to remember the exact same image. So whatever you have, save that image before you move forward. You can download it and you can use this in a lot of different ways. There are some copyright and monetization options. I'm assuming YouTube is one of them. PowerPoint presentations or anything like that, you might be able to use in there, as long as they're not being used on a majorly commercial scale. You're going from there, and all of the work that you do is used to train this model. keep that in mind. The old adage, if you're not buying the product, then most likely you are the product. It's a free service that allows you to create content. And if that's not a big deal for you, then check out GenTube. I'll have a link down in the show notes below. But what do you guys think of GenTube? Is this something that you would use? Let me know in the comments below over at Geekazine.com, YouTube.com/Geekazine, or you can like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification so you know when the next video comes out. And of course, if you want to support Geekazine, we have several different t-shirts that you can get if you're on YouTube. The links are below, or go over to Amazon.com/shop/Geekazine. You'll see the area marked merch, and there's all the t-shirts, all my designs right there. Until next time, thanks a lot for watching. If you got an AI product that you want me to take a look at, send me a message and we'll check it out. Until next time, you guys geek out and create your art with GenTube.App.